Hi, hello, and welcome to another edition of Executives Corner. So, if you are interested in that famous and widely popular topic of quiet quitting, then you are here right at that place. I would love to talk about this topic from the point of view of experience of my clients and my experience as a coach as I work with senior managers. And here are 2 points I would love to discuss today. It's not about a challenge which is facing only those employees who are millennials. That's the one. And the second one, that's a challenge which exists there. And I believe it's a poor leadership challenge. So it's not about the employees who are quietly sitting at home and quitting their job. It's not about them. And it's not about them leaving the job. It's about them having an attitude, which is a result of how they are managing and how they are led. So stay with me in today's topic of why quitting might not be a good idea. And welcome to Executives Corner. It is a LinkedIn Live with me, and you know that my name is Simona Spilak if you are following me, and I work as an executive coach, and I talk about topics of career transition, career change, and leadership all the time. And quiet quitting is one of the topics which exactly correlates and which connects career changes and leadership. So a great topic. I wanted to cover that topic already in September, but then somehow it slipped and there were other topics which are more relevant, but it stayed there. So it's not a topic which was famously known by TickTock only. It stayed there. It's covered in Harvard Business Review. It's covered in a lot of leadership articles. It's covered constantly on LinkedIn, either in the form of article or the post. And I decided to talk about it. So I have two primarily comments on that, and I have 2 points of view which are mine. First of all, as said at the beginning, even though that the challenge of quiet quitting and awareness about it was done by TikTok, a hugely popular young generation platform, it is very, very relevant for Generation X as well and for other generations. I would say that it's really, really present at the community of senior managers and also directors and all those people who have like 15 or 20 years plus working and professional experience. And do trust me on that, because I work with a lot of clients who come to me for a career coaching or leadership coaching. And even though that they don't share it publicly, even though it's not discussed out there, they do share that on one-on-one coaching. So first point is, it's not only about millennials, it is about other generations as well, and senior managers too. And I'll cover this, how to tackle that and why it is there and why it appears in a second. The second point, and my point of view about the quiet quitting, is that it is not a resignation strategy. It is not a strategy how you leave your job. It is simply a new way that the rule which you implement for yourself as a extremely successful either professional or a director or a manager, that you simply decide how you want to do your work and how do you want to do your job and how you want to lead that work to rule approach. And that's what it is about. It's not about leaving your job. As some of the HR managers said to me, you know what, I just noticed that there was one very, very successful manager on a specific professional role, and she simply found another job. So she was quietly quitting. No, she wasn't. She just went for another challenge. Quiet quitting is something completely different. Sometimes even not noticed because it's not noticed because there is a manager or a leader who is poorly managing his team or his direct reports. So 2 topics. Going back to the first one, why it is about variety of generation, and I would love to cover that. And the second piece of my point of view on that quiet quitting is why it also affects the area which is not necessary or directly connected to your employees leaving your company or leaving the job. It is a different attitude. It is a different behavior related to just simply deciding how employee or how your colleague would love to lead his life and what the rules he is applying or he or she is applying to his work. So why I don't trust and I don't believe it's a millennial topic, because just in recent month and a half since the topic became so public out there, I got a calls from a few senior managers, and I remember the coachings which we also had with one or two of my clients who were actually demonstrating the behavior of being satisfied, being happy on the outside, doing their job and their company, but in the inside and how they actually felt was just for them to decide, and you know what, I'll do the job, but on a specific level. I'll not overdo, I'll not do the extra mile, I'll not go the extra mile for the job which I have. I'll just do what's necessary. I'll just behave on that 9 to 5 job because I value my private life. I value that there is a bigger satisfaction, that there is a bigger value for me and for my family if I focus on the time and on the life which is beyond the 9 to 5 job. But you can also do the extra mile from 9 to 5 job, but why don't you do it? Because simply something doesn't click. There's something is not aligned in your current job. Something is not aligned in your current position, not with the company you are working for, but most probably with the team or the manager you are working with. And that's why I always say that it's about leadership approach, leadership style, and the pull leadership, which does not result in the high engagement of their employees, which does not result in the focus on yearly performance management, yearly performance appraisals discussions, or just understanding the career path of your employee. As a manager and as a leader, if you are listening to this, it's your job and it's your responsibility to take care of such high performers, of those senior managers who are striving to either for a new challenge or just for recognition which they might be missing, for appreciation which they need, for a very honest discussion with you. And often it comes down to such a small things where leaders don't take time to have honest and also open discussions with their employees, with their colleagues, with their senior managers. And then simply time, with every single such rejection, with the time, it comes to the situation that those high performers, those high achievers, sometimes also potentials or senior managers who are delivering every single year, they just deliver on the level expected from them, nothing beyond that. And you can't immediately recognize that. It requires time. And I was reading a lot of articles and also listening to YouTubes and posts and podcasts around quiet quitting and around the topic of psychology behind it. But it really relates to an individual challenge which your colleague or your direct report might have, and especially because it's so important that in the days where not only achievements matter, but people matter, and where we talk about human to human leadership and not only the leadership focused on the results, you need to pay attention as a manager and as a leader to individual employees, to individual colleagues who have their own specific challenges, desires, but also goals for their development. And quiet quitting, for me, it's often related to the opportunities for growth and for development. And this connects, once again, as said, to the time which the leader takes and dedicates and commits themselves or herself to really have a discussion, an ongoing discussion, ongoing dialogue with their employees and with the direct reports. And it's about leadership. And once again said, it's not about millennials, it's about every single generation, especially also for those seniors managers who have like 15 years plus experience. And on top of that, as said at the beginning, quiet quitting is not about changing your job. It's about staying on the role, but applying a completely new rule to the work you do. And how to understand it, as said, not doing that extra mile, but also not leaving the job. Those people are not actively looking for a new job, but they are just looking around, discussing with executive search agency like with ours, for example, going for a coaching session to discuss their development, their growth opportunities. It might not be necessary going outside or looking outside of the company they're currently in or the industry. It is about from them to identify what really makes them happy in the sense of what satisfies them and where they could find a place for themselves to get the recognition which they need and to get the opportunity and to earn the appraisal which they need. So yes, that's it. And it is a lot about understanding the challenges, desires, and the development needs of your direct reports, of people you work with, of your team, of somebody who is really not only delivering the results, but somebody who is actively working on their own career path, on their own development. And if you pay attention to that, if you take time to appreciate their deliveries, to really recognize the results, then you will work on their engagement. And I believe that managing and challenging the quiet quitters, it's all around engagement. And it's not a one day to another day solution, because that's the situation which doesn't appear in one day. It's created in a longer period. And if you don't notice that, if you don't talk to your people, then you will not notice that you have people around you who are extremely successful people, who are great achievers, but they might just come in the face of quiet quitting and staying there, maybe for a month, two, half a year, 1 year, and then someday they will leave your company and they will not add, or at least they will not add as much as they could if they would be appreciated, recognized, and if they would get your leadership attention. And if you would love to discuss that with me on a coaching call, there is an option for you to book a free coaching call with me. It is a 1 hour discussion where we can tackle different topics, either of career development, of your career path development for your employees, for your colleagues, for your team, or your individual career path growth, and of course, the leadership challenges around that. So I hope that this was beneficial. Just as I said at the beginning, I don't trust it's only a millennial challenge. It is about quiet quitters around the Generation X and senior managers as well. And it directly relates to the poor leadership, because it's not about your employees or your highly successful and impactful employees to leave the company because they are making a career change. It's about them staying there. It's about them feeling not being appreciated, not being recognized, and just doing the necessary job and not the extra mile. And this also means that they are impacting the engagement levels of their colleagues as well, even though that we work in a remote or a hybrid world. So take care on that and really pay attention to the fact that you might as well not notice this if you don't take time as a leader, if you don't take time as a manager. And if you do so, then go to your HR and reach out to a coach to find an opportunities and options how you can work with such employees and how you can engage with them, how you can improve the relationship. Because at the end of the day, every single challenge in the organization has to do with the relationship. Not only the relationship among the team members, but as well the relationship of the manager and the colleague or the employee. So I hope that this was interesting, and I believe I'll see you next Monday, 6 p.m. CET time, same channel, a different career or leadership topic. Take care, and I hope that you are aware of the fact that you have everyone's back and somebody has to have yours as well. So if you would love to, you can always turn for my help or my support or my guidance to booking a free career coaching call. Thanks a lot. Take care, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye. Ciao.